We are live.
Nice. I don't hear you anymore.
You don't hear me?
Oh no, there you go, there you go. I thought you were talking.
Yeah, now we are live. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see if we have a few viewers. Let's see if somebody is joining us. Thank you so much for joining us to this. First, thank you so much for joining to my group. It was an insane development for this group. I just opened this group last week and we are already 120 members. As you know, this group is a private group. It means that not everybody can join us. I really try to maintain this group clean of spam and clean of people that just want to offer you so many things. It's really surprising that even if all those filters that I put, we are already 120 people. So thank you so much for joining to my group. Thank you so much for jumping to this live. It means a lot to me. Most of you I know personally, or we've been going back and forth with messages and emails. So thank you so much for the trust in me. And for those of you that I don't know yet, again, thank you so much for joining this group. This group actually I created for you guys to help you in this journey. And I know this journey might take some time and you're just starting out this search and you want to learn a bit more. So that's the time, guys. If you're here, comment below if you're watching us live so we know that you can watch us. Comment below where are you from, where are you watching us, to know how far we got. It's amazing, bro. I'm very, very excited because today I'm going to invite a very good friend of mine, Carlos Ladron, and he is an investor and he's going to tell us and share with us his journey in this industry. In a minute, we will start. We're just going to wait a few more minutes to see if other people are joining us. And for those of you who are watching the replay, so again, thank you so much for joining us. If you have questions, you can comment below. We can see your comments. So along the way, if Carlos is talking and you want to comment something and you want to ask, feel free to do so. We will reach out to you during this live. And if it's the replay, so again, just leave your questions here, even though it's not a live session. And we will try to do this as fast as we can to answer all your questions and to give you all the information. I'm going to present my guest. And I'm so proud and happy that Carlos is here with us. How are you, Carlos?
Hey, how are you? I got it good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so happy to hear about your group, and I'm more than glad to participate and share my experience and how I have been able to buy properties here in Mexico. And I mean, it's just crazy how it's growing, how we have all these amazing projects, how all the big companies are investing here in Mexico now that is winning a big opportunity here in the Riviera Maya. So, of course, anything you need, we'll start with the interview. You let me know if you have any questions, if there's people commenting down below so we can answer them. And then we have a special, I didn't tell you, but we have a special giveaway for those who see this particularly interview. We're gonna have a giveaway at the end. We're gonna mention it. So make sure that you stay in this interview to the end, so you can know what's the giveaway and you can take advantage. So you can buy your first property, your first investment here in Riviera Maya, Mexico. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much for the heads up. As Carlos just mentioned, we have a very big surprise for you. And we will also mention that this surprise is very, very limited. It's only for you as members of my group, but I'll tell this, Carlos will share with you everything about this later on. Okay, so let's start. Many of our viewers, they do know you, but I'm sure that the major of our viewers, they don't know who you are. So
Yeah.
please just present yourself. How are you, your journey, where are you from, a bit about what you do.
Yeah, of course. So my name, my complete name is usually the first thing that most of my friends and clients laugh, because my name is Carlos and my last name, that's the funny part, is Ladron de Guevara, which is not, they say it's not good for when you're trying to do business or selling properties. I find it the other way. I really like my last name. I'm Mexican, but I'm part from the States. I'm from California. So I have a major idea how real estate works in the U.S. and all the politics and all the lawsuits and all the credit, the banks and all that. So I'm from Guadalajara, from here in Mexico, and I came to Riviera Maya like 5 years now, and I've been into real estate in four. And I just started, and I just see how the market works here. I mean, I have my family and friends that owns real estate even in the States, and I've seen how different it is. And so how did I start real estate? Well, that's practically my story here in Mexico. I started real estate first, getting my diploma, my credentials, and then I went to a company so I can get like polish, right? And you get all the experience from other people that are already here and already have more time, right? And that's how I did it. Okay.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Guys, I don't know about you, but I got a notebook and a pen because
Yeah.
I'm sure that Carlos is going to share with us lots of tips. And after that, you can review again the replay and take your notes because this is a lesson. Actually, I'm here to learn. Okay, so Carlos, in your opinion, investing in real estate, is it a good move compared to other investment that people, I'm sure that they are aware of?
Okay, so when they ask me this question, I think the best investment you can make for the risk and the benefit you have is real estate, right? Because you have three different ways to win in real estate. I usually tell this to the clients, and I tell this to my friends. So basically, in real estate, you're winning one, that you have appraisal. That means you have equity or capital gain during the period of time. Here in Mexico, we only had one period that the properties went down, and that was when the peso lost as zero. And after that, all of our properties, it just go up in value. That's how it works here in Mexico. I know it's different from the States, but that's one of the things here. The second thing is that this property, you can leverage it, right? So you can get a loan, you can leverage it, you can use that money to put it somewhere else, or to go out of a hard situation if you need it. The third thing is that you win for the passive income that it brings you, right? So one of the things that I love most here about Riviera Maya, than in compare to the other cities, or at least to one of the cities I know in the States and in Mexico, is that in the States, when you put an administration, you still have to be at the lookout. You have to look out for the property, look out for the lawsuits, look out for the things. And here in Mexico, you don't have to do any of that, because we are in a really high touristic destination, that the company, or the model, the structure of the business, is that they take care for everything for you. Of course, they do charge a fee for that because they're doing the job, but they take everything for you. Like, they take care of everything, maintenance, cleaning. They put it through the Airbnb, the platforms, and because usually these companies, they already have experience with the hotel administration. They do a really well job in the new developments that are being built here in Riviera Maya. So in comparison to other investments, I would say you can invest maybe in gold, but gold, you cannot sell, you cannot use it, or you cannot see the capital gains until you sell it, right? So you cannot really be using that investment. You only have right there, and it's winning more value through the time, but you cannot really use it or leverage it until you sell it, right? That's one thing. You can invest in stocks. Yeah, stocks is good, but with the recession we just had, we've seen that all the stocks went really down. So that's something that you have to have in consideration. That usually it's something that the companies are going to be up and down depending on how the economy is going. And the other one will be more of a risk term, that will be Bitcoin. well, not Bitcoin, but like, the blockchain. And for the blockchain, same thing. It's more of a risky term. A lot of people that have a couple of friends that they had a lot of money in one of the coins. In the night, that had a couple of bucks, and in the morning it was a couple of dollars. Like instead of hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, it was more just of hundreds. And that is something that is real, that it could happen. So for me, I like to invest in something that makes sense, and I like to diversify. Do not put all the eggs in one basket, but if you definitely want to start getting the first step is getting your financial freedom. I highly recommend it to do it through real estate. That's my advice.
Wait, I'm taking notes. And what makes the Riviera Maya, in your opinion, so attractive for those kind of investments?
So after the pandemic and before the pandemic, we did have a lot of people coming by, but I think the world like didn't really know about this paradise that was in Mexico. When pandemic hit and everybody noticed that you can actually get locked up inside without going anywhere, without being able to go outside, and in your country being so harsh with the rules and the fees and all that, they realized that Mexico is one of the paradise, one of the places that you can actually be there, feel free to do what do you like the most, to go to the beach where you can enjoy. And we start to grow our touristic destination. One of the things that I'm always amazed is that the last year we have 30 million of tourists coming by of the whole 2022. We have 30 million in total. There's actually a picture of that. You are the number 30 million tourists in Riviera Maya. And I mean, it's just amazing how much people love this area, because you feel the vibe, you feel the place, the beach is beautiful, you enjoy the cenotes. So that's why a lot of people are choosing to be here in Mexico, because they can call it a home, they can call it a vacation home, they can call it investment. You have you can use it for different things, like not only one. It's not only like your home, your vacation home. Like you can actually do different things in the same place. So I think that's why, because a lot of people is looking to Riviera Maya.
And when we're talking about the Riviera Maya, it's a very large area. For those that just joining us, maybe you don't know that the Riviera Maya is starting in Puerto Morelos and goes all the way down till Tulum. And from all this area, what would you like put your eyes on? Let's say 2 or 3 destinations that you keep your eyes on to see what's going on there with real estate.
Okay, so for the destinations in Riviera Maya, I usually like to compare and like to be real, right? To be real to the people that are asking, to our investors. I usually ask first, okay, what's your idea about this investment? Like, what do you want to do? If you want something that is like that is a market that is already proof, that it's a market that is that we know the numbers exactly, I recommend Playa del Carmen. If you want something that is for the future, that is more like jungle version, that is more of this vibe, that is more of a party, but it could be like more of bigger spaces, plunge pools, more amenities, I recommend Tulum. So it all depends on the market. Like I usually like to compare 3 markets. I go Puerto Morelos is more of a market of it's not a high on rentals. It's more of a long term, and it's more of like when you want to retire. Okay, because it's more like calm place. If you go to Cancun, Cancun is a big city. Cancun, the only place that you have the beach is what the hotel zone, Puerto Cancun, and all that area. If you live in the back, it's more of a long term. Rentals are lower, prices are lower, so it's just a different market. Puerto Morelos, different market. Playa del Carmen, for me, is one of the best places because in the whole Riviera Maya, you can see that it's the only place that you can go walking distance to the beach, and that is something really important for me because like you have everything to walking distance. You have the Fifth Avenue, which is the longest commercial street in the world. and you have full of restaurants. You have cenotes. Like there's the I don't know if you guys know all the amazing parks of Xcaret, which are beautiful, and you have a good project, and you have a good development and a good infrastructure already. Then we go towards Tulum, and for me, you still have that time. You still have that area that is going through the Rivera. You have Espuja, which is a nice but more residential place. You have Portaventuras, which is toward residential, and then you go to Tulum. In Tulum, one of the things I see about Tulum is that you have to be patient, because Tulum is growing nice, it's growing a lot, but it has to catch up. It has the market. Can you hear me good? Because I hear like noises. Okay. It has a market to catch up to the buildings and to the development that it's going through. Okay. And in Tulum, you're gonna see more. You're gonna see cases, or you're gonna see things where they win like 120 to 100 of the capital gains, or of the equity of the when you buy a property. You can still flip that out because it's going from the jungle to the construction. I usually relate it when they used to tell you like, oh, remember when my grandfather, they used to go, were you standing in your school? We used to go like playing, hunting, or we used to do things like that. Same thing in Tulum. Right now, is jungle. Is getting a nice infrastructure. Is getting a nice point of view with the nature. But the most important is that we have the amazing like the concept of Tulum. It what makes it important, because there's any part in Mexico where we have the same concept as Tulum, the same architectural design, the same infrastructure, the same amenities, the same nature, to be connected. And that's one of the things that the tourists love the most, and that's what they look for when they looking to buy up when they're looking to rent a property when they come to their vacation. Okay.
Thank you so much. That was a very good answer.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
With a lot of information. That's why I told you guys, bring your notebooks, take notes. It's a lot of information that Carlos is sharing with us. If you didn't catch up what he says, go back again to the review, to the replay, and watch it again, and take some notes, and pause it and write it down, because this is like very good information.
If you have any questions, you can just comment, and we can help you answer them.
I don't know if you can see in the monitor that we already have a question from Gaia. If you want to answer this right now.
Yeah, of course.
Thank you, Gaia, for watching us.
Do you not think that the significant slowdown in the Canadian and the U.S. real estate market will eventually catch up with the Mexican booming market and the current state of the market? Yes, that's a really nice. That is really a nice question. So basically, yes, of course, the market is being affected because of the things that is happening in the U.S. and Canada, and the recession that we're having. But this is one of the biggest reasons why the American people is taking out their money from the States and putting it here in Mexico. Because as inflation is going more to United States, and the recession is hitting, and the stocks are going down, and everything is being lowered, they're deciding to invest in other countries, and one of the most important countries is being right now Mexico. And right now, the good opportunities are gonna be open as for hard money when you buy all in cash. Are going to be good percentages of discounts. We already have some 15% discounts, and we're going to have some good opportunities, because with the recession, what we're trying to do is to lower the cost of the construction, so all the properties can have a reset in the market, and we're going to start. And like I said, that is true too. During the pandemic, we have more people because all the countries were closed, and there was a lot of people coming in. But in pandemic, we didn't have the most people. The most people we had last year, which was the 2022, with 30 million people, and it was not pandemic anymore. As thank you to the pandemic, people realized that Mexico is one of the places where you can have your money, where you can invest it, and where you can enjoy. And actually having a place right here for the price because there's a different price buying a property in Mexico than in the States and in Canada. So thanks to the exchange rate, even though right now it's going lower, you can still get a really nice price in compared to what you would buy or get it in US or Canada. So I don't know if I replied to your question.
Gaia, if you can please comment below if that's okay, the information that you got from Carlos, or you need more. And then we'll cover more questions. And well, we didn't really ask you what was your journey in investing, if it was pre-sales more or resales, like that it's pre-constructed or it's already built.
That is
So
okay.
what is the difference between those two investments?
That is a really good answer. Usually, what happens is that I usually recommend, even if they're from the States or from Canada, they are the ones I recommend the most, because I know in the Canada and in US you have more of power of you have more money coming in every single month that a Mexican could do. In Mexico, only the 15% of the people can wins or have a higher payment, or have a higher payment of 50,000 pesos, which that is like around $2,500. Okay, so only 50% of the population of Mexico has equal to that or a higher. Okay, so when you're from abroad and you have a higher income than that, I usually recommend to get into a pre-sale. Why? When you're buying properties in a market that is growing like this one, you have to consider that if you buy in a pre-sale, you're buying usually something that is at least 15% down of the price of the market, to 15 to 30% down. Okay, that's one of the real things. If you see properties out there that are ready for delivery and they are like maybe cheaper, that is because, one, they are not new. Okay, which is important. They have a long term now, and they need repairments. They need things. Even though here in Mexico, the construction is super super different from the United States and from Canada. They're really different. And I for my how would I say? I like more the how we build here in Mexico. I think they have like more sense to do with concrete. I think they last longer for me, and they need less maintenance for me. That's my opinion. And I usually like to buy that. I actually the first unit I bought was in a pre-construction. Well, actually, yeah, the first two units I bought was in pre-construction. The first one I bought was a studio, and the next one I bought a house. I will tell you more about it. But that's the thing. When I bought them, I got the best price, which I usually recommend to enter, which is a friends and family price. When you enter a friends and family price, remember, you know, the if you hire a lawyer, if you hire something, or maybe your real estate agent is telling you like, oh no, but they need to have all the permits. Yeah, of course you can wait, but that's why you do your due diligence and you find out who's the company, who is behind it, what's their ambition, where they come from, and all this stuff. The due diligence. If you enter a friends and family price, that's where you can see the actual gains. Okay, that's when you see the profits from 60% margin in your money during the pre-construction. Okay, so in difference of a resale, I usually say this to the clients: when you buy a resale, it's for two things. One, you really love the property. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is that there's any other property like that, and the third, you're paying what the early investor already won in the appraisal. Okay, so here in Mexico, in the difference from the state, the capital gain or the gains that you're gonna win through a pre-sale is usually between 20. Well, it depends, Playa del Carmen or Tulum. I'm gonna say now in Playa del Carmen. In Playa del Carmen is between 20% up to 30 to 40. I would say 20 to 40%. That's like the common. Okay, 20 to 40%. Then, if you go to Tulum, that's where you can get the best the best gains, because the market is growing. The new developments are being built, the new roads, the new places, and you can see some gains right there from 30 to 60%. Okay, but there's some cases that in Playa Carmen or in Tulum you can see more of that. Okay? Like I did with my first property. So basically, with my first property, I bought a studio in one of our developments that it was called Ocean Drop. And for that one, I bought it for 1 million pesos, which is around $50,000 in the center of Playa del Carmen. I'm telling you guys that this studio is not like the big studio or anything. This is a 28 square meter apartment, which is more than enough of the reason that I want it. Okay. You have to think that you're buying an investment, you're buying a business, you're not buying a home. Okay, you don't have to like it, it only has to make sense in money. Okay, money wise, you have to make sense. That's all you have to think about. So even though it's 28 square meter, I usually tell, okay, when you come from Europe, you come from Canada, you come from United States, you come from any part of that is not Mexico, even though if it's from Mexico and you rent out a place, tell me when you see the place or you stay long in the place. You don't. You only go to sleep, and in the morning you go out, you go to the beach, you go to the park, you go every single of the tours that you have, and you just go back to the apartment to sleep. That's the reality. Okay.
Are we okay?
I think okay. It
Yeah,
lagged.
yeah, you are back. I don't know, you were frozen for.
Yeah. There you go. And yeah, that's why I usually recommend to buy a pre-sale. It's like no brainer. There's one new project that I saw of one of my friend developers that is close to Plaza Las Americas. That you can see the prices right there for a two-bedroom apartment, even though right there is a business, is for like say 2.3 million pesos. And two of the projects that are nearby the same level of lifestyle and the same level of project amenities and everything, they're selling in a pre-sale for 3,700,000. So right there you have a $50,000 of profit just for buying in the other project that is the same, but it's in friends and family. That doing in the other one that is more to ready to deliver.
Amazing.
Okay.
So going back to your journey
Yeah.
and doing all those calculations, um, how do you calculate a good investment? So you bought it when it was only 1 million pesos, but how can you calculate really the capital gain that you will get in the end?
That is a really good question. Okay, so there's like two things I look into the properties that I see if it is worth it or not. Okay, there's two ways of buying the property. Okay, the first one you have to see, of course, the location. Where is located? Okay, if it makes sense in location, then everything else it would make sense. When you hear every single real estate here in Riviera Maya, they're gonna say to you that their development it has the best location. And at the end, it doesn't really matter where you invest in Riviera Maya, but it depends what's your idea about this investment. Like what's your final purpose? Okay, that it's gonna make sense for you. That you have to look into it because it doesn't really matter where you buy. It's gonna be a good investment. I mean, you're gonna have a good appraisal. You can have a good money cash flow coming in every single month. That is basic. Even though where you buy in Riviera Maya from the places that are highly touristic, like Playa Carmen or Tulum. Okay. So when I go and buy a property, I will put example this property that I buy for 1 million pesos. This property was like for 1,400,000 in friends and family price. Okay. There's two ways of buying this property that I usually recommend. The first one is what I like to call cesión de derechos, or what most investors or realtors when we buy properties we do. That is 30/70, or in some cases with the properties 20/80. Okay, what is this
Just
mean?
for those people that they don't know those terms, we're talking about down payment 30% and upon delivery, the rest of the 70%, correct?
Correct, exactly. So if
Okay.
you're buying your first investment and maybe you don't want to put a lot of down payment down, or maybe you feel like uncomfortable and you don't know, or you want to grow your money. If you want to grow your money, like let's say those 30 of those 30%, you want to make 100% of those 30, you can do it. How is this able? Is when you buy a property, I would say is for 1.5 million pesos, okay? In an area where you know all the properties are going for 2 million, maybe 2.2, like we did in BG condos. This is one of the true stories. And if you get a property like this and you get it for 30-70, the thing here is that you're not paying the complete 1.5 million. You're only paying 30% of that, okay? It makes sense. So if it is 1.5, if we put it as an example, I'm going to use right here the calculator so we can have the right numbers, and you invest 30% of that, it's only 450,000 pesos, okay? Which that is around like 25 to $30,000 right now with the exchange rate, okay? From those $30,000, if we took the 1,500,000 pesos of apartment that you bought, and you were going to sell it at the end before you go to the notary and before you receive the apartment. I mean, when the property is almost finished, but it's not finished, I usually recommend to do it like 6 months before, so you have a period of time, of good time, so you can put it through the market. If you add to that 30%, that would give you 30%. That would give you 1,950,000. Okay, I would say 30%. Let's leave it like that. 30%. Okay. If you subtract that 1,950,000 for what the 1,500,000, you're gonna have a difference of 450, almost the same down payment that you give. So basically, when you sell it, you're gonna be winning the same amount of money that you invested. So you're making 100% of return of investment of the money that you just gave in. Does it make sense? So you gave.
Does it make sense, guys? Does it make sense? You comment below if it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, so write your questions. That's why we are here.
Exactly. So basically, imagine is if you, instead of buying a property, you give this 450, for those $30,000, you give it to the bank. The bank will only give you in the States like 4% to 5%. Okay. Right here, you're giving those 450,000 pesos. Okay. You're giving it to a company that is building a development. And at the end, you're going to sell it. Okay. And instead of, let's say you pre-sale this for 2 years. So every single year, you want 50% of your money yearly. This is what I mean. This is insane because there's no place where you can put your money and get that amount of return. And why you're able to do that? Because you're leveraging the whole apartment for the down payment you're giving. This is not possible with all of developments. Usually it's really rare to find these gems, okay? And this is only I recommend it if you want to grow your money. Usually when I buy my properties here, I like to keep them all, okay? I like to keep all my properties and just rent them because we know in Riviera Maya, the spaces are limited. Okay? There's no like, oh, you can build in all the jungle and just do it. No, the place where you can build and the place where the high touristic destination is really small. It's not very big. So this is something I recommend if you don't have, or maybe you don't want to put a lot of money in Mexico and you want to grow your money in a safe way. You can do this because you're paying only 30%. You have to wait. You don't do any payments during the construction, and at the end, yeah, you just let us know, and we sell it for you, or you can sell it to another friend, or you can sell it. It's easier to sell the property once it's sold because people like to feel, people like to see the apartment. So it's really easier to sell that at the end. Okay. And in some like in my case, what it helped me a lot is that my property I got it for 1 million pesos furnished because it's a studio. So when I sold it, because I sold it and I sold it for 80% more, so I sold it for 1,800,000, and I sold it for 1,800,000, and I got it furniture. So when I sold it, I was like, hey, if you pay a good down payment, I give you for free the furniture. And that was the deal. And he got all the free furniture, which I already negotiated with the developer. For me, I didn't want an extra money. And with that extra money that I won, with that 80% that I won, I bought all the 2 properties with that. And those 2, I'm going to keep them.
Makes sense. We have a few more questions, but let's do like this. My next question is can answer. I don't know who is the viewer because it says here in my monitor Facebook user, and I don't
Okay.
see who is asking about renting. How can you project the renting? So before answer, how can you project the renting? And before answer, also Gaia, that is saying that it makes sense, but take construction might take 24 months or 2 years. Uh, let's just understand what is the difference between those two investments because we're talking about one flipping and selling it even before you close it, and another kind of investment is to buy it and then start to renting it and making money out of the rent. So let's separate those two, and if you can compare or do some kind of explanation about those two investments, the differences between those two.
Yeah, of course. So one of the investment that we were talking is that basically, yeah, you say like, okay, you have to wait 24 months to start getting that passive income. Yeah, that is true. But you actually start winning because you're buying 30% below the price of the market, and it's like buying gold. When you buy a pre-sale, think about it like buying gold. You're buying a piece of gold that is under construction, that you're winning money every single year that because it's going up in value. And usually in the pre-sale is like 30%. After the construction, it goes like between to 6% to 9%, and in Tulum it goes to 9% to 13% every single year. Okay, so when you buy a property and you're waiting, and then they deliver to you and you start renting it out, that's one of the things, and that's my favorite because I'm the true believer of passive income. I like to win money without doing anything. That's the whole deal. I mean, you have more time because there's nothing more valuable than your time. And the idea of having a property in the beach where you can enjoy it and you can rent it out and you can make people have a nice experience and then you can enjoy that money as well, then it just no brainer, right? Okay. And the other concept is when you want to grow your money so you can have a better investment. So that's two different things. In the first one is you're putting a down payment, you're waiting the months, and then you grow your money. And in the other one is where you like the place, you want to rent it out. It makes business sense because you're gonna win every single month money, and that's it.
Okay, so that takes us to the viewer that I cannot see who put the comment, the name of the watcher, and he's asking how you can project
What the
how this place gonna rent when it's a pre-construction.
that
It's a
is
really
a
good question.
Yeah, it is a really good question, and I like to get into it because it makes me so mad to hear these old brokers that they said, "Oh no, you can rent your studio for like $180 the night here in Aldea Sama." That is, let me tell you guys, that is the biggest lie. That is the biggest lie they're ever going to tell you. Okay, so there's two things, and I like to make this like real clear. I know maybe in the States it has to do a lot with the property. Okay, so in the States, when you buy a property and depending how the property is looking, the size, maybe the finishes, maybe the things like maybe there it changed for how much you can rent out of your place. Okay, right here in Mexico, or at least right here in Riviera Maya, there's a rental market. Okay, there's a rental market already there. It doesn't really matter if you're one bedroom or if you're studio. If you bought it for 200K, if you bought it for 150 or 120, 170, it doesn't matter for what you bought it. When you rent it out, it's gonna be the same price as all the others. And I want to make that really really clear in when you're renting in a vacational sense, not in a long term. Probably in a long term it does make a difference to have a bigger size, maybe a jacuzzi, to have more square meters. But when you're thinking only in vacational rental, you cannot say it's going to be something different than it is right now in the market. So I usually like to say this example to our clients is like, okay, imagine to get into this rental market, you have three options. Those three are the studios, okay, in the center of Playa Carmen, and they have like the almost like the same design. They have like the same concept, amenities at the roof, because usually all the properties are like this in Playa. So these three properties, one is for 100 and 100, 110. The other is 150, and the other one is 200,000. Because there is one, and each one of them, one is smaller, the other one is bigger, and the other one is more bigger with a bigger terrace. It doesn't really matter if you go to Airbnb and look up for the three different options. You're gonna see that the market for those three are the same. Okay, those three are gonna rent for $45, the lowest season, and that is true. My guys are gonna tell you that is the true about it. If any other realtor tries to tell you otherwise, they're trying to lie you. They're trying to give you a ROI that is not true. The lowest rental income that you're gonna have per night is $45. Okay, and that's in the new properties, in the new projects. If they're older, you could probably go lower. Older, I mean, like, that doesn't have amenities, that doesn't have anything like that to offer. Those are like the added value to the property, the amenities, which is really important. So the lowest is $45 here in Playa, and the highest you could go for a studio is for 120 to 140, 150, like the peak of the high season. And I like to make that really, really clear, because we usually get really confused with that, with the rentals. We have the client that they say, no, but in front of you, the project, they for the road, they're gonna be $80 the night. You're like, no, I mean, I'm sorry, but this is not true. And there's simple and easy way to look at it. Go to Airbnb and book a place. See for how much you can book a place, and go to AirDNA, and they tell you all the statistics where you see the real numbers. And from the AirDNA, that's where we get all the data and all the information, so we can build our developments. That's how we do it. Okay.
Guys, if you're not familiar yet with this amazing tool that Carlos is mentioning right now, AirDNA, it's like Airbnb, but it's called AirDNA because it's actually give you all the stats behind Airbnb, Booking, and I think a few more platforms. And that gives you a real situation of this market, rentals market, and you can compare between one market and the other, and it's a really, really good tool when you are going towards this kind of investment. Thank you, Carlos, to mention this amazing tool. So we spoke about pre-sale versus resale, and in pre-sale, obviously, my clients, and I'm sure that yours are sharing exactly the same doubts, and they're saying that it's very, very risky. And it is risky, but I want to hear from you that you've already invested in a pre-sale constructed, pre-constructed projects. How do you guarantee all those insecurities? What are the tools that you're using to take those risks and maybe lower them a bit down?
That is a really good question too. So when you're buying like a pre-sale or resale, even though when you buy a resale, you have to be really careful, because sometimes there's people that they double the deeds and they try to scam you, and you that's why you have to work with the real estate guy, which has like us in my ocean. We have the lawyer apartment that they help you with all the process, and we make sure that the properties that we send to our clients, they have been gone through the due diligence of our company. And it's a company that we know, it's a company that is a hard company, that has money, that has a vision, that is been building for a while, that has a background, basically. Okay. One of the things that you have to look when you're buying a property, that this was one of the mistakes that a lot of abroad people did, and they did not consider, because they thought, oh, it's Mexico, it's easy to buy properties, just put up the money. No, you have to look that the piece of land where the building is gonna be is not ejidal. That's one of the key factors right there. Because if it's ejidal, at one point, when they finish the building, they can take out, they can
Seize the land. They can seize the
they can
land.
seize the land and everything that it's on it. So that is something that I really say. Look out for the deed. Of course, if you're buying a friends and family, they're only gonna have the title of the title of the escrituras, okay, the title of the land, and they're gonna have it has to be in the same name of who's building the company. It has different names. Watch out for that. When usually we are developers, and when we get a land, it's called aportación. So aportación in English, it would be like giving the land, like apporting the land to the builders. And what we do is that we don't put it in our name, under our name, but we put it under, maybe sometimes in a trust, or we do a contract that we all participant in the building, but our name has to appear in that we're doing that with him, that is the owner of the land. If the owner of the land and the one that is building, they don't have a connection, don't buy there, never, because it's usually a scam. Okay, that is something that I usually say. And I usually tell all the clients, like, here in Mexico is different to work with a realtor than in the States. With us here, you can check all the properties in the market. Property that you see in the market, you bring it to us, and we make sure that it has all the permits, and we help you with the process. Like we have a list of more than 600 developments that we can work with, that we know they're safe. So don't worry about that. We help you with all the process. And there's one of the things that I love about my company and about Maya Ocean, and about one of our developers that they work. They have like 40 years of experience. They have done multiple properties here in Playa, and is that they work under a fideicomiso. Which, those of you who doesn't know what's a fideicomiso has multiple purposes. Okay, and one of them is for investment. Okay, investment purposes. So when you're buying, let's say, one of our properties that is called Ocean Tulum or Natum, there are the whole investment under a fideicomiso. What does this mean? It means that a bank is in the project, okay? Is a participant of the project, is an administrator, and he's going to make sure that the money of all the investors that goes in the account is only used for the development purpose. And a bank will never take part of something that is not legal. So it's basically buying an insurance. It's protecting. So if this fideicomiso, it has multiple parts and it can help you with multiple things. Another thing is that if the developer dies, or there's damage, or goes bankrupt, okay. I hear like a lot of noises. I'm not sure, like.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I also hear a lot of noises. I don't know if, please comment below if you hear us well or there are background noises.
Okay.
Let's see if somebody's, but it seems like people are still watching us, so we are
Okay.
good.
Okay, so when you get that, I think it's probably
Is somebody saying that probably it's your microphone?
okay. I have this. Hello. Better?
It's a battery or connected to the electricity?
No, it's connected to the lots of background. Okay.
Lots of background noise here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna lower the noise of the let's say I'm gonna lower like my volume of the computer. Let me know if it's better. Okay. If not, I would try something else. I could probably disconnect the microphone and just use the one of the computer. So the only active audio comes from you, Carlos. I'm getting all background sounds. Okay. It's better now. Okay, perfect.
Okay, so actually we have last like 10 minutes and we have lots of questions. Thank you so much for watching us. Yes, I had a few more questions, but let's see if they cover, because we have.
Let me just finish real quick with this fideicomiso. And
yes, this is important.
The fideicomiso is really important, guys, because this protects your first investment, so you can go sure with your money that in any case the bank is gonna make sure to give your money back with a percentage, or that they're gonna finish the project, because the bank will always back up the developer to make sure it finishes. Okay. And this is something you can ask any lawyer of Mexican that knows the law here, and they're gonna confirm with you all this information. Okay, so it's
Amazing.
important to work with a fideicomiso, and not a lot of properties are qualified to enter a fideicomiso. Okay.
Guys, please comment below your questions. And in the meantime, I'm going to ask you a personal question, my last question. And I know we all make mistakes, and it seemed like your journey was perfect, but I'm sure that you made some mistakes. And I like to call those mistakes like the perfect mistakes. So far, what was your best mistake that took you to the best place that you are today?
Okay, so the two biggest mistakes I think I've done here in my experience, one of them is it was when I bought my second property. I bought a house in Tulum, a pink house, beautiful house. But the thing there is that I work with the in-house realtor that he didn't know the project. So he gave me a location that I didn't really want it, and that's one of the mistakes I consider. And they didn't have the clarification of how I want to buy it, the property, like this property I bought it like with my partner, and so they didn't really understand how we want to did it, and now it's all like a mess that I have to clean up. But it's okay. I mean, it's things that you learn. So that's one of the key factors. Always work with a realtor that knows the project or knows what they're doing, and be honest, like being honest about it. And the second thing that I didn't know in my first purchase is that I didn't negotiate the cesión de derechos, okay? And that is the like to give in the rights to the next person that you're going to sell the property. And this is before you pay the deed and before it is ready to build. So basically, when you resell it, there's a fee you have to pay to the developer. And in my first purchase, I didn't know about it, and I had to pay 15% of my gains. I have to pay 15% of my gains. And I mean, you learn. I mean, I did a great number. I did a really good flip, but I had to pay 15% of the gains. Okay. And you have to know when you sell the property, you have to make sure, and you have to be aware that you're not going to see the the gains. You're not going to see it at the end. You're going to see it at the end when the person that you sell it ends to pay the complete property. That's when you see the gains, because the developer he gives your money back to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. That
Yeah.
was a good lesson.
Yeah, and the third is I didn't get informed. I mean, I'm a Mexican, but this is usually that happens to abroad, to Canadian or American clients, or from Europe or other place, that they don't know about our taxes. Okay. And that is really important, because here in Mexico you can take advantage of the taxes. Instead of paying in your country, you can pay them here, and it's much lower than in your country. For example, myself, I only pay 2.5 of taxes, and that is really low. And that in a legal way, like in my regimen with my accountant that I'm in, is called Recico. And for that, I only have to pay 2.5. But usually when you have your
Instead
property,
of 2.5, instead of how much?
32, 32%.
Boom!
Yeah, 32%.
That's
So
why you're here. That's why I invited you.
yeah, 32% plus the what's it called, plus the IVA, which is another 16%. So you have to make sure to know your taxes, to know what you're doing, because if not, the bank is gonna retain those taxes. And I mean, if you won, let's say $10,000 in the year, and you have to pay 32% of that. From being from other country, you can decide if you pay them here or pay them in your country. You can do one or the other. But if not, I usually recommend get a good accountant, get a good strategy. So at the end, you only pay like 3-5% of that, and you enjoy the complete money because you can deduct it. Okay, that is one of the most. But you have to be a resident to pay low taxes. No, you don't have to be a resident to pay low taxes. You only have to get a good accountant. Okay, actually, if you're not a resident, you don't have to pay taxes. You have to pay them in your country, not right here. You don't have to pay anything here. But if you keep your money here, there's going to be a point if you start making more income. Let's say if you have like 4 properties, they're going to be charging you like, hey, if you're not paying in the States, or you have to prove that you pay your taxes in the States and you're just keeping your money here. So you have to be really careful or really good with information of your accountant. And it's super cheap to hire an accountant. It's super cheap. It's like $75 a month, and they make all the work for you. They know the strategies, they know how it works, and it's something we all do here in Mexico. Okay, so this is one of the key factors for the taxes. Okay.
Before we go to our giveaway that I know that you have, and everybody are expecting the giveaway that you have, and it seems like it's going to be a boom after you just said that you avoid all those 30% of taxes.
Yeah.
Before we go over this, I mean, oh my God, you did it. You really, really nailed it. There is another question that we didn't cover about if it's fideicomiso is a must when you are buying a pre-sale, and about and also the penalty, the cesión de derechos, the total. So how can you save? It's talking about the closing costs. If you can save the fideicomiso, if you can purchase without it.
Yeah, of course. When you're buying a property, okay, so like I say, there's like different types of fideicomisos or trusts. One is for investment. So when a company is doing a building, that's the first one. They do a fideicomiso for a business fideicomiso. Okay, we just call it like that, business fideicomiso. It has a different name. The second one is a fideicomiso for like a permit when you're buying a property and you're abroad. You're a foreigner. My tongue gets
like non-Mexican.
Yes. When you're not Mexican, you have 2 options. You can do it through a fideicomiso, and with one fideicomiso you can put multiple properties. You don't need to open one in. You don't need to open one for each one of the property that you buy. That's one of the things. And the other one is that, or you can do it through, in this case, it could be a company, or in the States, like an LLC. You can open an LLC here in Mexico, a company, but you need to put one of, in the company, you cannot be by yourself. There has to be 2 people. One has to be your accountant, your lawyer, and he has to have like 1% of the sharing of the company, because he's going to take care of all the taxes and legal purposes and everything. Okay, so those are the 2 different. If you're buying only a property, I recommend, or 2, do it through a trust, because you're not gonna get really into details in something, and just open a bank account and you can get an accountant, etc. Or you can become a resident. And if you're gonna be having more properties, open an LLC so you can take advantage of all the taxes strategies, so you don't have to pay a lot into the taxes of your passive income that is coming every single month, and you can deduct even more things here in Mexico. Okay.
Amazing.
The other question was,
from here, it was about, I think that we covered. I think that the question is just when you're flipping, let's see if I can understand exactly the fine tuning about this question to make sure that we cover this. Do you need fideicomiso even if you're flipping it and you're not going to closing? You still need the fideicomiso?
No, that is an actually good question, because usually they get like confused with that. When you're buying a pre-sale, the fideicomiso is only at the end. The fideicomiso is when you're gonna get the deed. That's when you get the fideicomiso. If you're flipping, you don't need no fideicomiso, no anything. You only need to have to do the due diligence, choose your property that you want, and then pay the down payment and just wait. That's all you have to do. Wait. And when it's almost done, I usually recommend 6 months before, start putting your property that is on sale. Or you don't have to wait. Like, trust me, when I did my first flipping, I didn't have to wait, because we sold the whole complex. So we sold all the units. And once all the units are sold, it's so much easier to do the flipping, because the next buyer, he doesn't have where to compare. Okay, so this is something really important. There's 2 options. If you sell all the properties, you can sell yours for the price that you want. Okay.
Thank you. Okay, we're gonna give you guys like 4 or 5 minutes more just to ask more questions. And in the meanwhile, while we're waiting for you, and I think that we covered everything, right? Because the other comments about the microphone, I don't see, because I have two monitors. I have this one and I have the other one, and I don't see other questions. So it seems like it's okay. I'm just going to refresh my page. And guys, if you are watching it, the replay, and you can ask your questions. Carlos is part of this group, so he can see your comments, even if it's tomorrow, in 6 months after we went live. That's okay. This live is going to be here in this group. I'm not going to delete it. I'm not going to hide it. So if you're watching it later, that's okay. You can still ask your questions. Carlos is in the group and he can help you. But now, let's put the drums. The moment we all been waiting for. What do you have for us?
Okay, so for this, there's a question, one more question before the giveaway.
Okay,
is there
okay,
a project
good.
In Playa to check out right now? Yes, there's actually, I'm gonna mention one of the 3 projects right now that I'm recommending to check, because for me, to make sense, like this is like basic 101. When you buy a property, the first thing you see is location. Second thing is that what's around it. What's the development that is going to be around it? Because that's going to give you the other capital gain. There's 2 capital gains. The one that is secure, that is the one that the developer keeps putting the price up. And the second one is that the development of your surroundings that is going to give you more value to your property. Okay, that is something really important. And I'm going to say the properties right now so you can check them out. So the giveaway. So for this particularly live season that we had, I spoke with some of our developments, and I tried to negotiate we tried to negotiate for you guys. We, instead of paying the 15% of the flipping or of the cesión de derechos, we can get it right now as low for 5%. 5% we can get it. 5%. And in our land, because we have land too, we could negotiate it to 3%. Okay, so that's the thing. One of today, before the live, one of my clients, they bought it in one of our properties called BG Condos. We were able to get this negotiation because I told them about the live and everything, and we just got, for the 15%, I can send you proof and everything, we lower it as 5%. It was approved. So from today, and I think it's going to be for 1 to 2 weeks more, we're going to have this promotion that we're going to do in some of our projects, not in all of them. And right here in Playa is going to be in Ocean Breeze, in Tulum, in Ocean Condos Tulum. It's going to be in Natum too. It's going to be in Ocean Village. It's going to be, we can do it too in Ocean View, but in that one, it's a little bit more hard because that project right now, we just launched it. So our prices is like friends and family, best prices right now. And you're like walking distance to the beach for like 1.5 blocks. And the prices right there, we start from $140,000, 1.5 blocks away from the beach. You can get your apartment. Yeah.
Okay. What my members of my group that I love you guys, thank you so much for joining us and watching us, and I'm sure that you're excited. But now, how they can get it? If they want it, how they can get it?
And let me tell you, there's another giveaway for only 2 projects. Yeah.
And this is only for our members. This is only for
this is only
group.
for our
It's
members.
Exclusive.
Yeah, the other one is a promotion that is, we're gonna have the 2 weeks, and this is only for our members. In 2 of our properties in Playa del Carmen, which I'm gonna send you. We're gonna send you the information if you leave a comment below and hashtag giveaway. Okay, hashtag giveaway, comment below. We send you those information that only for the members of this group. We're gonna give away the furniture. We're gonna give a furniture like that, furnished. It's gonna come furnished, no decorated, only furnished. In 2 of our properties.
Okay, guys. If you're right now at the point of putting an offer somewhere and you just suddenly heard it and you want to put your offer and take advantage of all those promotions that Carlos is giving you, comment below hashtag giveaway. That can really make sense.
Which strategy do you employ to choose a unit if you are not in Mexico physically? This is a good question. Um, when you mean which strategy do you employ to choose a unit? To choose a unit, we will go over Zoom. We go through the project. We see the location, what's around it, what's the price of what's around it, how much the rentals are going, and the location inside the building. That depends if how you're buying. If you're trying just to administer, it doesn't really matter because, like I said again, people here in Playa Carmen, in Tulum, they do use more the apartment. But here in Playa Carmen, they use it for sleeping. That's all they do, sleeping at night, and they're the whole day they're in the beach, they're in other places. So I recommend, if you're not in Mexico, you can do a Zoom, you can do a FaceTime, a face call. We can go over the property. You can see all the paperwork. You can, like, we're really transparent with you guys. Anytime that you need us, we're here for you. And so like that, you can choose your property. Actually, we have multiple clients that they just buy their properties in online. Like they don't even, one of my clients, he made me receive his property. Like he didn't even like receive it. He was just like, oh yeah, it's furnished, just put it to rental and that's it. Like they just want to make money and that's it. And if you're making money, it has to make sense in the business idea. You're not buying a home, you're buying a business. Remember that. So look at the hard data. That's my recommendation. Okay. And if you're buying a home, then I do suggest to come here so you can check it out and you can enjoy the beach. Right? Okay.
There was another question from Alex.
Okay.
Alex is asking us, and the penalty, what is the best way to avoid it? I think it means about the cesión de derechos, but I think that we already covered this.
Yes, in the penalty.
How to avoid it. This is actually the giveaway.
Yeah, this is actually the giveaway. In the penalty, this penalty. Not all of the developers are like really open to negotiate that part, because they have this idea that you're doing money with their money, and like, they don't make any sense with that. So usually the good way to avoid this, you have two options. In one of them, we can put a clause, like a clause in the contract, in the agreement, that says if you pay a percentage of the property, like I have done this with my clients, that if they pay 80% of the property, they will not get any penalty, like any penalty. And plus you get like a 12% discount, 10% discount. So all that discount is going to your capital gains in the future. Okay. So that's how I did it in my first property that I bought. I didn't know about the penalty, but I put a lot of money down. I did a hard cash money, and that's why I got it for 1 million, because I did it like 80% down. So I got like a 15% discount. So I could get it in 1 million pesos. Yeah.
And I just want you guys to understand, Carlos already flipped it. Yeah. And this project is not even built yet.
No, no, not even one stone, not even one stone started, not even one stone. And
this is a no-brainer. This is genius.
It's gonna be delivered for next year, which I find it good. Usually the construction, when it goes friends and family, it depending the project, but usually take like 24 months to 12 months. Construction takes like 16 months, and that's the period of time. This is something that I want to make clear, so all of you are like pretty calm with it. And this is something with all developers. Okay, it doesn't really matter their background, it doesn't really matter their experience, it doesn't really matter how many units they have built. All of them and none of them delivers on time. Okay, this is something real, this is something realistic. They never deliver on time because there's certain things that goes out of their control. Okay, the permits or the legal process here in Mexico is super slow. Okay, and there's hundreds of buildings trying to get the permits. Okay, so when you apply the regular way, it takes long. So you have to go to the connections and then to get the permits faster, but it still is a process. Okay, so there's like certain things that are out of our control. Another thing is that Riviera Maya, we don't produce anything. There's no like big fabrics or big companies that they produce materials. So we have to import and bring everything. Usually the kitchens, we bring them from Italy, from Germany. Like we import all the materials, good material, good quality. We import it, and right now with the pandemic and all the aranceles, which is like the taxes of importing the stuff and the time frame and everything is sometimes that's why we are delayed in our properties. In any developer, like I don't know one developer that has give the property on time, and that is something because it happens, it just happens. Okay, so there's usually 6 months, that between 3 to 6 months a period of grace, and this is for them to deliver the unit. If they go over, they pay you every single month, they pay you a fee. I bought a house, and my client, another client, bought a house. He was supposed to be delivered in August, and it is March, and they haven't delivered. His house is almost ready. It's just like details, but I'm not gonna make my client take something that is not finished to the end. I'm gonna make sure that the house is perfect, it's beautiful, and ready to be delivered. Nice. If it's not ready, don't take it. It has to be perfect. Okay. And for me, my house, it was supposed to be in December in the same place, but different faces. And it's been 3 months. I haven't received it. So next month, they're going to start paying me. Okay. So for me, it doesn't really matter because you usually leave a percentage. That's another key factor. Leave at least 10% at the end so you can play with that money. So you have 10%, and you can, if the developer took more time, you discount it from that 10%. Okay.
Good. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Carlos.
No, thank
I
you.
think that we covered a lot of information in this live. I took a lot of notes. As you can see, I did my homework, and I'm sure that I really hope that you took some notes from this. If you have more questions, again, Carlos is in the group, and I can see a few of you already commented giveaway. So me and Carlos, we're gonna reach out to you, and we hope that we can help you with this one and make you get you faster to where you want to go.
Yeah.
And that's it. I think that we covered a lot of things tonight.
For closing, I would just like to say that usually people think that we're just trying to sell things. And I usually say, I'm not a seller, I'm an advisor. My job is to advise, and my job is to make relationships with you guys. Because buying a property is not, you're not buying like a timeshare, timeshare where you never use and you just pay money and that's it. Like I never see you again. My idea of business, on how I do business, and how I am so successful is because I'm really transparent. Okay. And basically is that we're building a relationship right now. Okay. Those of you who buy properties, that it's an addiction. It's like getting a tattoo. Once you buy one and start feeling the passive income, you want to buy more. Because when you get 5, 6, 8 properties, winning $8,000 a month, I mean, that's the whole idea, because there's nothing more valuable than time. And I'm going to be here. I'm not going anywhere because I'm still buying properties. So I'm going to make sure that the properties that I sell to you are the best ones, because at the end, if not, you're going to come from me, right? So we have to build that relationship, because that's the whole idea. Like that's the whole plan, build relationships so you can get your financial freedom, you can get your money, you can get your time, and you can enjoy it. Okay?
Amazing. We have another giveaway. Guys, next week, I really hope that this person gonna confirm, but we're gonna have a lawyer here that's gonna cover all those issues about if you need a residency, if you don't need a residency, if you need a fideicomiso, if you don't need. So I really hope that this lawyer also is preparing a huge giveaway. So stay tuned for next week. I'm going to announce it here in this group. So this is exactly this is the connection and the closing that I want to do. This group is for you. I'm here to help you in this transaction. I'm here to thank you so much for watching. And we are here for you. It was an amazing interview, the first interview in this group. And I think, Carlos, that you raised the bar so high for all the people that will come after you, because this was a really, really good interview. I hope that you enjoyed, guys. Again, still comment below. That's okay. Carlos is in this group. I'm in this group, and we keep monitoring these those comments. If you have more questions, just comment below. Thank you so much, Carlos. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching us, watching the live right now, or watching the replay tomorrow or the day after. We are here for you. Good night for all of you. Enjoy your Tuesday night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a nice one.
Bye-bye. Bye.